we're going to cover right now, and it's 2-1 to Glaser so far. And these two pretty, I would say, high-profile players that, funnily enough, you may not have heard of that well. Because even Sintolol, who played at Worlds, doesn't get a lot of stage time outside of that. He's not really, you know, doesn't stream to a big audience, for example.
Sure.
All of his posts are very just...
Careful, Raven. Think very carefully about your next words.
Created to a narrow audience.
Good.
Whew. Okay, moving on.
I think Sinto came very close to he came very close to Worlds 2 years ago because he was points leader for last call, so he got into that tournament, and then of course he got there again the year just passed. But as you said, 2 years ago, he got the majority of his points through Open Cups. It wasn't big ladder finishes, it wasn't playoff performances or prelim performances as they were back then, and it wasn't big tournament wins. It was these quiet, behind-the-scenes grinder tournaments that he picked up point after point after point. Glaser, on the other side, he really broke into the limelight because of his performance in the inaugural season of HGG, where he really did, captain and lead his country to some great performances and gave some great interviews as well. Really, came across as a very smart, thoughtful Hearthstone player.
And he impresses me all the time because he's just gone strength to strength as a player, but also as a personality. He's joined F2K, as you can see on his shirt there, but also F2K were extremely close in winning the team standings in the first season. They lost out to Tempo Storm, but they were leading for a very, very long time throughout that season. It's impressive from all the players from those guys. Let's get to this one though. Oddrogue versus Zoo. So far, Sintolol is doing what he does best, throwing minions at face.
Yeah.
Glaser looks like he's just waiting for a card that unlocks these happy ghouls, and that's the one. It heals as well as deals damage to your opponent.
Life Drinker will do the job, and he's going to have to give up what is a very juicy Soulfire on a 7-3 just in terms to have his power turn here, because he does need his power turn. But now Sintolol can just continue if he wants to be very, very aggressive here. Just, Giggling Inventor locks out all of these attacks plus more, and he can just push another 10 to face if he wants to. Fungal Mancer, which is the big scary thing going into their turn 5, does nothing. It's entirely irrelevant.
I was just about to say, it's kind of funny the interactions between these two minions, because even the 2-1 of Giggling Inventor kills the Fungal Mancer itself. And the two buffed minions that are normally quite large, who cares, you're hitting into Divine Shield minions.
Despicable Dreadlord, a great card when you're the one pushing aggressively against Giggling Inventor, and they have to then defensively giggle into you, because you can just play your Dreadlord and just pass the turn and just say, fine, I made you play two 1/2 taunts for 5 mana last turn. That's basically what you did. But in that position, he just couldn't play it because of the threat of lethal on board.
Yep, it's funny that the taunts can be cleaned up by 4 attacks or 0 sometimes.
Yes.
Which is a very odd way to look at it.
But here, Sinto can just keep on pushing damage. Does not have to respect a great deal of this board state. Tidies it up with the Vilespine Slayer, and this SI is just going to go downtown, pushing damage yet again. This is limiting Glaser's life taps, limiting his ability to play Flame Imps, all of these tools that Zoo relies on. There is 2 Flame Imps in hand now, and Dreadlord being dropped out. This does not look like it's going to get the job done. It does not. It's a very rapid game.
Deck. We often see a deck that isn't brought by many, but gets the work done, and often has an impact on the following weeks of playoffs.
And often, it's RDU that does it when it's Mage that's concerned.
It is. It's no surprise. He's done it multiple times before. The biggest one winning DreamHack off Tempo Mage with double Flame Strike.
Which I continue to tell him was a terrible idea.
And he was like, well, it might be terrible, but who's winning, Sol?
Yeah.
Who's winning?
After the tournament, I was like, no, the double Flame Strike list is still bad, Radu. Whose name is on this trophy? All right, yeah. I guess I've got to hold that.
And then now you can hold up your prediction trophy, like, whose name's on my trophy?
My vastly superior trophy. It's vastly superior to a bundle of flowers. At least it is a trophy.
That's true. Radu got the trophy though, so at least that's a bonus. Soul Infusion going down now onto the Happy Ghoul. Almost reminiscent of last game.
I'm not pleased, Raven. I'm not pleased with how this is panning out.
Sintol's gonna lose?
Yes.
This is Hearthstone though. Anything can happen.
It's true.
And there are some swing turns. It only takes a cheeky Soulfire to whip the board back into shape for
All
Sinto.
it takes is a cheeky Soulfire. Yeah. Are you sure about that?
What? This isn't that bad.
He needs something off this Librarian, though.
He's not completely fell behind right here.
Sure.
Soulfire can clean up the 3-2. The 3-3 kind of two for ones the Saronite Chain Gang, and he has other stuff.
No, you're right. I'm panicking.
Sol, as ever, the unbiased caster.
What do you want from me? I like winning.
It's a shame about HGG predictions, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. Okay, it's a pretty dead draw from Glaser's side.
So it'd have to be, what, tap into Voodoo Doctor to really shape this turn up for him?
Right, but if he taps and whiffs, then he's really not like doing much in terms of the board state here. Like the Voidwalker is actually a very useful blocker. Draws the second one here and actually decides to play it instead of the Happy Ghoul, which makes sense to me. It's just very obnoxious against the minions that are currently in play for Sinto. Speaking of which, that's kind of equally obnoxious the other way.
Are you okay throwing Leroy here?
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a Leroy game for Sinto.
The only way that's ever a deciding factor is if you end up Leroying into like a Doom Guard to kill it, and that's the main threat, you know, to try and keep it even, but...
Librarian's a good draw for him, though. This is where Sinto needs to be now. Now this board state is basically just resolved. Like, it's just cancelled down to a very similar board state from both sides after Glaser plays his turn. This could end up being the resource battle. And Kobold Librarian could end up being huge because of that. But Keleseth, of course, is the king of cards in a position like that, because it essentially means that on average, every minion that you draw is going to 2-for-1 with every minion your opponent draws.
Right, because I'm not sure about exact cards for cards, but both these players are playing with the same set of cards, more or less, right now. So if your cards are always one better... This caster just turned into just Sol just cheering for Sintolol.
Sintolol's a good
guy.
Go
on, Glaser. Get him.
He taps into the Blood Knight here because he knows how potentially game-winning that Chain Gang can be here, and then gets almost immediately rewarded with the Solarium, which now has a very high chance to pick up a Soul Infusion with now a Saronite Chain Gang left on the far left-hand side of his hand.
Oh, just most importantly, it's ultimate flex choices, right? You play Solarium first on 7 mana, you have 6 mana and 4 options. Go. You know, see what happens. It's really powerful. And this is ouchie time. Just taking extra damage, but Glaser couldn't exactly just not play those minions that turn. He needed the 4/4s. Wow, do you just full trade and play the 2 minions now? Because that is a very wide board.
It's this full trading of which you speak.
You don't have to full
trade. You laid out the rules several times. I think you're right to say it, that it's about bodies and number of attacks. So if you follow that logic through, why send 3 attacks into 2 attacks in this matchup?
Alright, don't shout at me, Sol. I didn't appreciate your tone.
It was a very calm explanation.
Yeah. Okay, well, the taunts made the difference there, especially with the Voidwalker making it a little bit easier.
2, 4, 9, 10, 12 on board. 4 from the Fungal Mancer. Sinto is going to get over the line to being a long way behind in the early stages of the mirror. Glaser just drew the clunkier cards. The Keleseth didn't end up being a factor. Sinto found all the cantrips. The Kobold